Hi, welcome back to my channel. It is September, and that's why I'm in my cozy flannel, but also wearing shorts because it starts out cold in the mornings, and then by the time I pick the kids up from school, it's gonna be boiling hot. So this is the season, and I hope it's been a good beginning of September for you, but I bet there's been a lot of mixed feelings for you. And if you've got a kid who is starting or going back to school, you've likely had a lot of, well, yeah, I'll call them big feelings around all of that process. And I want to talk about kind of what moms are taught we're supposed to feel and and then look into how we want to feel instead, because that's what I'm all about is helping moms to process whatever emotional baggage you've been carrying so that you can be the mom you want to be instead. And if you enjoy this work, please hit like and subscribe. I don't know how to do all the buttons. And honestly, I'm a mom, so I don't have time to do all the editing and that kind of stuff. But here I am. So I have two kids, as you may know if you've been around for a little while. Um, One just started grade two, and the other one has just started grade 11. So I feel like I'm going to be doing this school thing for a long time, and I've already been doing it for a long time, and that's okay. But yesterday was the first, well, it was the first hour of school, and it's the day when we drop our kids off. They get to meet their teachers. The parents all hang out, and then after an hour we get them back again. So I was standing in the playground talking to other moms and dads, and there was just this feeling because it was warm already. It felt like we had just been there yesterday. It really did not feel like there had been a gap of time between the last day of school and the new first day of school. And just like the summer felt really short, which that's great because it means that we were busy doing things and having fun. Um, but it just reminded me that there is a story here that moms should feel this sadness and loss about school beginning. That, oh, summer's over and it's never coming back. And we only have so many summers with our children. And yeah, okay. Or the opposite, which I do catch myself doing sometimes, that we're excited about the end of summer because we want to get rid of our kids. And yeah, I admit this is how I feel sometimes as well. Like, yes, I'm sad to see the summer end, but I'm really excited for us all to get back into our routines. Um, However, I don't want my kids to have the impression that I don't want them around and that, like, I'm ready for childhood to be done and our time together. So, neither of these stories is one that I want to carry out with my family. So, and this whole impression of like summer and school starting being this big traumatic event, definitely don't want either of my children picking that up. And so far, so good. Like they both were happy to go to school. I got reports from both sides like, oh, I saw your teenager and they looked really happy. And I mean, my youngest practically raced in the door, really happy to see her teacher and her classmates. So, yeah, things are going well that way. Um, but how do you want your child to feel about school? Because it will show up in how you feel about it. And looking back, there may be past experiences from your own childhood that you're maybe allowing to influence your child. Um, Yeah, not so much with the elementary, I find, but I hear people talking about, oh, high school and the bullying and teenagers, or uh, really building up stories about mean teachers. Even watching TV, there's so many kids shows that have the stereotypical bully and the stereotypical like ditzy teacher and mean teacher and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, we're creating these beliefs even before the kids get to that point. Um, Also, with this idea of, the end of summer being hard on you as a mom, or watching your child start school, and this being like, oh, my child started school, and um, you know, overindulging the emotions there, I guess. There's a message being sent, and I want to remind you that your child is not responsible for your happiness. So if there is this hidden message happening that mom's not happy when you're not at home, or mom's not happy when you branch out into the world and do new things on your own and grow up. Um, that's not that's not a healthy message to be sending to your child. Let's just say you did not become a mom in order to have a permanent toddler. The idea of a permanent toddler, like, it's exhausting. And I know there are situations where children end up needing to be home and supported more often, but if you're living with a child who is um, fully capable and ready to move on and grow up and do things, if you're sending out this message like, I can't believe you're growing up, and oh, I remember when you were a baby and you were so sweet and da da da, and it's like, okay, but look at all the things I can do now. And why do we have to keep reverting back to talking about like my babyhood? So I would hope that you're excited about your child growing up and heading to school, like no matter what age, because there's all those little steps that they hit, like, oh, they're heading to preschool, and now they're heading to kindergarten, and oh, they're heading to middle school and high school and university and everything. Like, hopefully there's some excitement there. And yes, there may be nostalgia for the past, of course, because um yeah, there's connections and moments that you'll have with your child when they're younger that will not be the same when they're older. My 15-year-old does not fall asleep on my lap anymore, you know, and that's okay because they're too big. But what I want to ask is the question of how would it feel to acknowledge that grief? And it is a form of grief to be like, oh, I miss that little person. The grief that you may feel for the younger child or the baby phase being over, acknowledging it, and also welcoming in the possibility of celebrating this new phase instead of it being like just the constant, oh, I miss when you were a baby. Your child doesn't want to hear that. And it is making going to school harder for them. So, the big question, can you let this experience of starting school be what it is without it being anything personal to you, or not to you, but making it about you, basically, that it's just a moving forward and everybody's moving forward together. So, the big reason why I do these tappings and the one on one sessions that I offer with moms is to help them release these old negative beliefs. Because this way your child can watch you experience emotional freedom. And imagine if your child is coming home from school and something has happened and you are able to support whatever happened, whether it is a bully or a mean teacher or anything else. You are able to support your child's needs without feeling triggered, without your inner child kind of like, oh, that makes me feel like this, right? When you can feel empathy for their situation, like I can see how this feels, I can feel what it feels, but not get sucked into sympathy, like I'm like, this is making me sad kind of thing. Being able to stay in the empathy frame of mind will allow you to be the strong, safe, trustworthy adult that your child needs in that moment. Looking back at my childhood and my teenagerhood, I see how there were times that I knew I'm not going to bring this problem to my mom because I know already how she's going to react and it's not going to be helpful to me. So why would I bring it to her? Ouch. Right? That's what I don't want my child to be saying about me. So we're going to do some tapping. Of course, surprise. And just playing around with this possibility of this is an event. It doesn't like, yes, I may hold some sadness about it, but that's okay. And I don't have to make it get in or allow it to get in the way of anything else with my child. So let's begin. And I want to invite you, first of all, I really want to get into a grounded situation. Actually, I need a drink of water. Hang on. Again, I apologize. I don't know how to edit all this stuff out. So take a moment to close your eyes and take a few breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you release each breath, feel your body relaxing and coming into this present moment. I may have drawn you into the past, talking about school, and you likely have your brain thinking about the future as well, what's coming after this, but just come into this present moment. We're only going to be here for a few minutes, and this is time for you. Okay. So, setting the intention to get a little curious about any feelings you've been holding about back to school season. All right. And we'll start tapping on the side of the hand. And if you haven't tapped with me before, this is just watch and copy. So I'm going to guide you through the tapping points and you echo back what I say. So even though I feel overwhelmed with all the feelings around back to school, I accept myself and these feelings, and I love myself completely. Even though my kid going to school feels like a big deal, I accept that I have these feelings, and I still choose to love and accept myself completely. Even though I have mixed emotions about my child going back to school, I choose to love and accept all parts of me. Okay, now we're going to the top of the head. All of these big feelings. Eyebrow point, I'm worried that they will overwhelm me. Side of the eye. Part of me wants to keep my child home. Under the eyes. Part of me is sad to see them growing up and moving on. Under the nose. I don't want to lose the special bond we have now. Under the mouth. But I also want them to have fun. Collarbone point. Maybe it's okay to sit with these feelings for now. Under the arms. I wonder if there's some healing here. Under the chest. I can be sad and happy at the same time. Wrist point. When I'm ready, I can let go of the sad. Top of the head, especially because I deserve to enjoy my child growing up. Okay, breath in. And acknowledging that sadness, that blend of sadness and happy that's been carried in your body. And yeah, just noticing anything else that comes up. You may notice like a release in your body if you've been holding that tension. There may be some guilt attached to that sadness, right? Or guilt about the admission that you are happy about your child going to school and moving on. Like, we carry so many feelings. And EFT tapping, it's not about like, let's get rid of the bad feelings. It's just acknowledging all of them and getting comfortable with them. That's what emotional freedom is. It's like, I have these feelings and I'm still awesome. I'm not only awesome if I have the good feelings, I'm always lovable and awesome the way that I am. So we're going to do another round, another couple rounds probably. We'll see what comes up for me, but just noticing like, I've been carrying this. I've had these labels. How would it feel to let some of that go? No pressure. So starting again on the side of the hand. Even though I'm sad that my child has grown past that younger phase and that part of my life is over, I'm also excited to see what comes next. And I love and accept all parts of me. Even though part of me holds sadness and fear about my child going to school because of what I experienced when I was younger, I accept that I have these feelings. And I know that things can be different for my child. Even though I've been seeing this transition as something to be sad or scared about, I'm getting curious about letting that go so that I can enjoy the experience of watching my child start something new. Sorry, those were long. Top of the head. Maybe there's an old story here. Eyebrow, something from my own childhood. Side of the eye. How would it feel to trust in my child? Under the nose. And also acknowledge how resilient I have been. Under the nose. Maybe things can be different. Under the mouth. I'm ready to look at things in a new way. Collarbone point. My child and I are both ready for something new. Under the arms. As special as the younger memories are, under the chest, I honor them and open my heart to new memories. Wrist point. I'm getting ready for this next stage. And we'll finish on the side of the hand. I release old stories to make space for new ones. I'm breathing in, release. I don't know about you. I felt that one line of my child and I are both ready for something new. And like, yeah, okay, we don't want to stay in a permanent state of like the infancy or the toddler or anything. Like any stage will get old, let's say. And it's okay to enjoy it and still let it go, right? Allow yourself the grace to be able to be like, yeah, I loved that last phase with my child, and I'm also ready to move on, because to be in that permanent state will, neither of you will enjoy it, honestly. So let's move on and be like open and cheerful about it. So, considering how you can change some attitudes around back to school. Um, this is something that I've been working on for myself for a few years now, and it had actually nothing to do with my children. I held some stuff around September for quite a long time because of the change of the season. I used to work outdoors all the time, and so September and the equinox and the time change all meant like less daylight and less time to be outside, and I held a lot of resentment against that. So yes, transitioning and enjoying September and bringing in new ideas. So even though we have started school, it's not like ta-da, it's all over. How can you make this back to school season something to look forward to? Um, Maybe you and your family can create some new traditions that will move on. Like I know there's like the chalkboard of like, who do I want to be and whatever. And those are great. Um, be careful how much you share your children on social media. I will say that. But yeah, like finding new ways, like maybe a back to school special breakfast or a special dinner, like to anchor the week, right? Like, hey, we made it through the first week and let's really talk about it and share it. The kids and I have been making a new playlist for the car so that we can really get amped up on the way to school. And just finding new ways to have these celebratory events and things that are unique to beginning school. I mean, we used to have all the back to school shopping, and that's kind of phased out, but what's something that can be unique to September or to back to school that um, you and your kids can kind of dream up together about how you want to feel in September? Um, yeah, I'm going to keep brainstorming about that myself. So I want you to set the intention that this year is school can be just school. It's not like a separation of you and your children. It's not something to resent or fear. It's just a new stage, like an opportunity for everyone to experience something new. And as I noticed for myself, like not just for your kids, what is something that you can do for yourself to kind of start learning something new. Your kids are doing it. What could you do? Is there a course that you've thought about doing? A skill that you wanted to try, something. And this is also amazing for your children to experience watching you, like, I'm going to go learn how to tap dance. I'm not. That's just what jumped in my head. But yeah, like, what could you launch out and try? And I would love to hear back from you what you come up with. So thank you so much for being here. And if you enjoyed this, again, please like and subscribe, share this with another mom, and I would appreciate it so much. All right. Have a great week. I will be back next week with another episode.